Hey guys, check this out.
Is my extraction team.
Believe it or not, I created that action sequence with just 2 reference images and 1 simple prompt. And in this video, I'm going to walk you exactly through how I pulled it off. What's going on, everyone? Paudonis Maximus here. Today, we're going to be looking at yet another lazy way to kick off starting your AI short film. And for that, we're going to be using Seedance 2.0 within Higgsfield AI, as well as exploring Higgsfield's new Cinema Studio 3.5. And when I say lazy way, I'm speaking more in terms of maybe you're someone who doesn't really have an idea of what your AI short film concept could be. Maybe you've got a few ideas, they're just not coming together cohesively at the moment. And maybe you're just saying to yourself, I just want to get an idea of what could be possible. This also works for someone who may be just getting started with AI filmmaking, or maybe you've been on the sidelines. Maybe you're one of those people who said early on that, hey, I'm just going to wait for this stuff to get better. This would be a very easy way for you to see for yourself how far AI video has come along in this space. Again, it's still somewhat early in 2026, and we've got such an excellent model like this that is performing at such a high level. There's nothing else on the market as of this video quite like it. But again, I'm still on the lookout for that Happy Horse 1.0, because as of this moment, it looks like it's going to be the only competitor to Seedance 2.0, and a new baseline has been set. Like, seriously guys, if a company has an AI model that they want to release, point whatever, and it doesn't even come close to the aesthetics as well as the physics of these models, because again, one of the biggest problems that we had with AI video models is that they didn't understand physics. If you had an AI character try to land a punch, it would be like a ghost punch, it'd just go right through them, or there was just so much censorship in the model that they wouldn't allow your AI character to throw a meaningful punch. I can seriously say we're past all of that now, and again, if a company, Veil 4, if they're thinking about coming out with something that's nowhere as close to what we're getting with Seedance 2.0, then I don't know if they waste their time releasing that model. But anyway, again, what I'm going to do in this video is just show you a very straightforward process to creating an intense battle scene that doesn't require you to do too much. Literally, the only thing I used in this example that I'm going to show you is 2 reference images and a prompt. So with that said, let's get right into the video. Okay, so again, we're going to be using Higgsfield AI. Though they've got a lot of tools like NanoBanana 2 and NanoBanana Pro, as well as GPT Image 2, they've already got some tools within their suite of tools that allows this process to go a lot faster, and it doesn't really require you to have to think about it. This is also where we'll be using Seedance 2.0, and as I've stated in previous videos, and I believe maybe Higgsfield actually came out and said it, I thought I saw it somewhere, but the engine of Cinema Studio 3.5 is Seedance 2.0, and you can tell that because there's literally no other video generator on the market that has that kind of aesthetic, that has that kind of understanding of physics. But I believe Higgsfield is smart in doing this because, let's say whenever Happy Horse 1.0 comes out, if that turns out to be better than Seedance 2.0, then all they have to do is swap out the underlying engine. That's what I assume is going on, at least. And again, if you want to help the channel out at no extra cost to you, then be sure to use our partner link in the description below this video. This helps us to continue to do this kind of testing and show you guys what's actually working in the real world, because we know all of these companies have their own trust me bro benchmarks, and on this channel we actually dive into the tools to truly see if these tools do what they say it does. So again, if you want to support the channel in a very passive way, then if you're going to check out Higgsfield AI, then be sure to use our partner link when you sign up. Link is in the description. Now, the very first thing that you'll need is a reference image, and this is going to be your AI character, your protagonist, your antagonist for your cinematic battle scene. What we're going to be doing is a gun battle with our AI character against random aliens that we're going to let Seedance 2.0 come up with. And again, the best thing that's going to work is a full body image. This is the image I actually got started with, and what's going to make this process faster for you is that if you already have a character character that you've created in MidJourney or with NanoBanana 2 or wherever, just find an AI character that you can quickly experiment with. And ideally, you don't want to have your AI character having a weapon, because as I'm going to show you in MidJourney, creating the weapons separately just gives you way more flexibility in terms of being able to swap out multiple weapons and not being locked into the one that generated with your AI character. And if you don't have an AI character readily available, then I'm going to give you this MidJourney prompt in the comments below this video, and it'll give you something like this. Again, this is MidJourney version 8.1 alpha, and you actually have to go to alpha.midjourney.com, but I'm pretty sure it'll work with version 7 as well. And again, this prompt does not lock you into MidJourney. You can take this prompt anywhere you want, but again, in my opinion, MidJourney just has some of the better aesthetics. So again, be sure to check the comments for this prompt. I'm going to give you the prompt for the blaster as well when we get to that. I want to leave you guys with zero excuses as to why you can't get started with your AI short film today. So now that you've got your AI character, the second thing we're going to do is use a technique that I showed you in a previous video. And what you want to do in Higgsfield AI is come under this apps tab right here, and you see that we have this app called Shots. It creates 9 unique shots from one image, and this is the method that we're going to be using. Now, really quickly, there is a method to do this with a character sheet. My experience is that the character sheet has just kind of been hit or miss. Some of the images just appear too similar to one another, like this example right here. I mean, it does work. This is NanoBanana 2, and I've seen Higgsfield AI actually demonstrate this method on their YouTube channel. So again, I don't want you to think that you're locked into the method that I'm going to show you, but I just tend to like this method better because to me, it seems I get much more variation in the way the character looks. Now, if you want to try out this character sheet method yourself, it is a very long prompt, but as an update, what I've been doing is adding all of the image editing prompts that I find that actually do what I needed to do after tweaking the prompt over multiple iterations. I've been adding all of that to the AI Cinematographer's Playbook. So if you are a student in the AI Cinematographer's Playbook and you haven't visited the database in a long while, then make sure that you check out this NanoBanana and image editing prompts tab. Also provide screenshots of workflows showing the prompts in action. So if you want to create a character reference sheet like this, then you'll find that very long prompt in the Airtable database in the AI Cinematographer's Playbook. And if you're not a student, then I've got an awesome deal for you. If you become a YouTube channel member, you can receive up to a 20% discount, and that discount works with the course as well as the upcoming AI filmmaking Discord community that I plan to launch sometime in May. You can find all of that information below the video or scan the QR code on your screen and enroll today. So again, we're back under the apps tab, and we're going to click this Shots app that Higgsfield has created. And when you do that, it takes you to this screen right here where you want to upload your full body image. And one more thing before I forget, if for some reason you generated a AI character that you really wanted to use, and maybe the character already had a weapon in their hand, well, the great thing is that the technology has advanced so well to where you can actually remove the weapon from your AI character's hand and you don't disturb the overall look. And as you can see right here from this image, I did exactly that. I used NanoBanana Pro, and the only thing I said was remove the rifle from her hand. So if you want to do this in a very clean way without your character having the weapon in their hand, because you're going to want to do that since we're going to be generating the weapon separately in MidJourney, then be sure to do this. Again, very pretty straightforward prompt, and it's going to help with the step that we're going to jump back to. And this is where I uploaded my AI character. This right here is where you can select the aspect ratio. It's not going to let you do 16:9, so I'm keeping it at 2:3. That actually works out perfect. And also note that whenever you go and get your image, Higgsfield is not going to let you pull it from your image library. I don't know why that is. I don't know why there's that disconnect. So you're going to have to download the image after you upscale it, and then click the button to upload the image. And then once your image is uploaded, you just want to click the generate button. Now I've already done this, and when you do that, you've got an option to come here and select the images that you want to keep essentially, but we're not going to do that because what you do right here is you'd select the images you want, if you didn't want all of them, and then you'd upscale all 9 shots. But the cool thing about this is I'm going to back out of this and I'm going to go to images. I'm just going to click images. As you can see right here, you're already going to get that grid, and you're going to get that grid in 4K. This is all you need for what I'm going to show you. Now, there is a case for if you got a batch of images and you didn't like some of them, then you have the choice to re-roll the grid again by going back to apps, because again, this is the first one that I got. It was okay, but I didn't like this image right here, and I didn't like this this image right here. So I just re-rolled the grid again by uploading the character and then hitting generate again. Because from what I can see right here, there's no option to just click regenerate. This just says recreate, meaning it's going to give you the prompt possibly. I've not tried it, but again, say for instance, you just only wanted some of the images, then you'd want to go back here and then select the images that you want out of this batch, upscale them, and then when you go back to your image tab, those images would appear here, and then you could attach them into Cinema Studio 3.5 for the later step. But again, I'm not doing all of that. I'm just keeping everything in the same grid. It's already upscaled. It's good to go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the weapon for her. But before I say that, I don't want to forget to mention this. The end result of this project, what you saw that I created with Higgsfield, Cinema Studio 3.5, and Seedance 2.0, I literally had no idea how this was going to turn out. The only thing I had was the image of the female character and then eventually the blaster, because I thought that I could make something that looks much more badass than what she was already holding. And then I came up with what she'd do with that blaster later on. So again, what I'm trying to get at is if you're someone with writer's block, you don't really have an idea of what your story is or could be, the process to figure this out could literally be as easy as having 2 reference images and a vague idea of what you want your story to be, packaged in a very simple prompt. A lot of movie studios even use this process. It's something called previs, which stands for pre-visualization. It's mostly done with drawings and storyboards, but with AI, you now are able to previs your story inexpensively. So again, just keep all of that in mind as we continue on. So again, to get the blaster rifle, I didn't want to think too much about it. I did want it, however, to have a couple of things. It should match the genre of the AI character. So I don't want a futuristic AI character with a steampunk looking gun. And I also envisioned the barrel of the rifle to be circular. That's a pretty popular design in a lot of sci-fi shoot 'em up type games. And the weapons usually formed like that are pretty powerful. And so all I did was I attached my consistent character and I told Claude this. I said, I want to create a blaster rifle for this woman. I envisioned the barrel being circular. Give me some prompts to try with MidJourney for the rifle only. And then I also said, do not add the no flags because this is within a project within Claude and it's got a lot of attachments, a lot of data that I've trained this AI agent on. But part of the prompt doesn't work with MidJourney version 8.1 alpha, and that's the no text, no watermark, blah, blah, blah. Those no flags don't work with MidJourney version 8.1 alpha. So again, I gave it the prompt and it gave me a lot of options to choose from. And all I did was take those prompts over to MidJourney and this is what I got. And again, these blaster rifles look premium. I mean, imagine if you could just 3D print one of these things just to hold. And so a lot of the blaster rifles came out exactly how I wanted them. I did some variations on the ones that I like the most. So the only thing I needed to do was select one, upscale it, and then take it over into Higgsfield AI because we're going to do the exact same process that we did using the Shots app to get multiple angles of this blaster. And again, all you do is go back to the apps tab right here, click on Shots, and you should land right back here. If you still have your previous image, just clear it out by clicking the X, upload your blaster rifle, and I set the setting to 16:9, so I got a 16:9 grid. But remember, if you click here, it's going to want you to upscale the images individually. What you want to do is just to go back to the image tab and you will find your shots grid here. So now that you have your AI character reference sheet as well as your reference sheet for your blaster or whatever weapon you decide to give your character, the only thing left to do is to come up with your prompt, which you're going to be surprised how simple this prompt was, and to go over to Cinema Studio 3.5. We're going to click this right here, and depending on whether or not you've done something with Cinema Studio 3.5 in the past, you may not have anything here. And don't get confused by this. It says Seedance 2.0, but I basically made a folder and I've got all of my Seedance generations going here, but I could easily go here and it'll show every single thing that I've done. But again, I just put everything into this Seedance 2.0 folder. But this is the interface for Cinema Studio 3.5 that we're going to be working with. Now we're going to want to add both our reference image of our AI character and the blaster. So when we're on this video tab right here, we're going to want to click right here where it says add reference media. And what you want to do is click on image generations. Now I've already explained this in a previous video. The way we're able to use Seedance 2.0 within Higgsfield AI and not have all of those limitations like not being able to upload realistic looking faces even though they were generated with AI is they've got their own checks system. And for anything that you do within Higgsfield, either uploads or generations, be it image or video, you have to click this button that says check eligibility. And I believe this was put in place really to protect the AI bros from themselves from wanting to upload other people's intellectual property, which was the whole reason Seedance 2.0 got delayed initially back in February. And again, in other videos, you've already seen that unless you're doing something absolutely crazy, you're likely not going to run into any situation to where whatever you've generated or uploaded into Higgsfield gets denied. So I'm going to select this grid that we did as well as this grid for the blaster. And as you can see, they've now been added to Cinema Studio 3.5. The next thing I'm going to do is just copy the prompt that I've already used. And as you can see, this flipped over to action because that's the preset that I selected whenever I initially ran this. And this is very important. This is going to be the difference as to whether or not your action scenes look bland or if your action scenes have some magic added to them. Because again, as you can see, we've got action, general, epic, drama, noir, comedy, horror, and none of that fits what we're doing with this. So very important, probably as much as important as the prompt itself, make sure that you have this genre preset set to action. I'm going to close this out, and you'll notice we also have an option for style as well as camera. You can experiment with these if you want, but I did not change any of this stuff. I left everything to auto. Again, this allows you to move really quickly and not have to really think about everything. Now, will there be some instances to where you'd want to get really refined on the focal length or the aperture or the lens? Sure. But again, we're quickly iterating through an idea to see how it turns out. And again, as you clearly saw from my examples, they work. So this extra stuff down here is not needed at this point. Now, here's the kicker. I know as you're scrolling through X and seeing all of these posts from influencers to where they're creating AI agents to create prompts. They've got these very long, elaborate prompts for their videos. As you can see, my prompt is stupid simple. Again, I had no idea what I wanted to do with that AI character and her blaster before doing any of this. And so as I sat there at my desk pondering, I said to myself, what would look badass without much effort? I know that I wanted this character to have villains, but I didn't want to go and generate all of the villains one by one when I really had no idea of how this thing was going to really turn out. And so the answer was to let the AI figure it out. And literally, this was the prompt: an alien space hangar, the futuristic woman, and we used the @ symbol to reference that sheet. As you can see, image 1, something happened there. Let me fix that. Okay, so since I copied the prompt, I don't know why that happened that you just saw where it was like check eligibility again, and I just re-added the images, but the tagging went away. So let me just add it right here in front of you. So the futuristic woman, and then I'm going to say @image 1 because that's her, is firing large energetic pulse lasers from her blaster rifle, and that would be @image 2 at a horde of alien creatures trying to attack her. That's the prompt. And the only thing I did was run this thing multiple times, and I hearted the ones that I liked. Not all of them made the cut, and then I just put them all on a Final Cut Pro timeline and arranged it to where it would make somewhat of a coherent sequence, and that's what you guys saw at the opening.
Where the hell is my extraction team?
Now again, you don't have to do what I did, which is take 3 15-second clips essentially and string them all together, because maybe even what you generate doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. Like as a standalone, it probably would have not made sense if I did not add that one thing at the very end. And that was this prompt right here, to where I added the dialogue where she says, "Where the hell is my extraction team?" That kind of rounded everything out, and it does give us the vibes that, hey, she was somewhere, something happened, and now she's trying to get the hell out of there. It could be just that dead simple, guys. You do not have to complicate this. Now, a couple of other things to round this all out. You want to make sure that you set the aspect ratio for 16:9. If it defaults to auto, make sure that you force it to 16:9 so that it doesn't just give you something that you weren't expecting. All of these I ran on 15 seconds at 1080p. You could also get away with 720p, but you're going to have to use something like Topaz Starlight Precise 2.5 to make it really look crispy. In fact, even though the ones that I did run with 1080p looked good, I still took them over to Topaz to use their Starlight Precision 2.5 to upscale the image to 4K, but it's not a necessary step. You also want to make sure that you have sound on, and here's the other thing that's missing that you may have not noticed. If we go to Cinema Studio 3.0, you see that you get smart shot control as well as custom multi-shot in 3.0. That is missing from Cinema Studio 3.5, but it actually did didn't matter. Because again, notice I don't have any kind of multi-shot prompt thing going on in the prompt box. The prompt is pretty straightforward, and we're literally telling Seedance 2.0, hey, figure out everything else. Figure out what the hangar looks like, figure out what the aliens look like, figure out the sound effects from the blaster, figure out everything. Now, I'm not saying that you would not want to use multi-shot prompting, especially if you want to be very specific with your scenes. Like, this is going to be very important for dialogue scenes, but with something like action scenes where you can be a bit more loose with what happens on the screen, just roll it a few times and see what you get. Thankfully, with Seedance 2.0, the results that you get are 90% likely to be spectacular. Now, you will want to review everything that you generated because some of the shots just didn't work out. For instance, there was a scene to where it just looked very CGI. It almost looked like a video game, and it didn't match any of the other generations that I got. So just keep that in mind. The other thing I want to say is this. If this is how Seedance 2.0 looks right now, and if it's purported that Happy Horse 1.0 is going to be slightly better, then you can only imagine what the next iteration of Seedance is going to look like. It's going to be amazing. And again, sadly, if other companies like Runway or Minimax or Kling or Google Veo can't deliver this type of aesthetic and these type of physics, then they might as well just leave whatever model number they were planning to release on the shelf and come back to the market when they're serious. So what are you guys' thoughts on this very simple way to ideate and get some ideas for your AI short film? I mean, there's so many tools out there now that there's really no excuse for you to not get started. Is this something that you plan to try out for your own AI video gen workflows? Let me know in the comments below this video. And then also, again, if you want to help the channel out at no extra cost to you, we've been using Higgsfield AI this entire video. And again, if you want to support us in all the testing that we do, then be sure, if you're going to check out Higgsfield, to use our partner link in the description below this video. Thanks in advance. And if you enjoyed this walkthrough, if you enjoyed getting some ideas as well as the prompts that I'm going to leave for you in the comments below this video, then be sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel, because when you like and subscribe, not only do you let the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoy videos like these from our channel, but you also let them know that you want to be alerted to the next one that we upload. Once again, my name is Paul Adonis Maximus. Thanks for checking out this video. Please join me in the next one.